What's up guys, welcome to another Marvel Strike Force video. Today in this video what we're gonna do is something a little bit different. I've watched quite a few Marvel Strike Force videos on YouTube, and the majority of these videos about characters that I've seen is characters from the beta launch, which have these characters at level 60, 5-star, 6-star, 7-star, tier 11. And trying to compare those characters, or trying to see how those characters with abilities that high of level and see how they apply, I guess, to my team is really tough. It was really tough for me to see what characters I wanted to go for, what characters I wanted to farm. And so I wanted to do something a little bit different. I made a squad of my 5 best members, and I wanted to compare all 5 of those from a launch player in which it is actually fairly obtainable for the most part. I made them all exactly the same. I made them all level 55. I made them all 4-star. I made them all tier 8 gear, and their abilities are at level 5, 4, 4, and 2. Which for the most part is all of the levels you get to right before you start to get to the purple color of ability material and the purple of the gear material, which makes it a lot harder to level these characters up. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to compare my 5 best characters that are all exactly the same to kind of show what their abilities look like at a obtainable launch level, to kind of see if maybe you can see better if they fit into your squad and how they actually do. I am a launch player, so I am quite a bit behind from all the other beta players. If you do enjoy the video though, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you think that you want to see more of these. I'm going to work on a second team. I play a lot of raids, and I want to have 2 teams in which are about the same, so I don't have to worry so much about my one team dying, and I don't have to use so much raid energy or worry about refreshing, just using these 5 guys. So let's get into this. Like I said, we're going to check out their abilities. We're going to compare them all. We're going to compare everybody's stats, base stats, to kind of see how they compare to each other. As you see, their power levels are fairly close to each other. They are all exactly the same. Same level, same star, same abilities. None of the gear on tier 8 is on there, so they are literally all exactly the same. Wolverine has the highest power. Drax is the lowest just out of these, and I think these are 5 pretty widely used characters. So let's check out the abilities first. We're just going to go through these real quick, and then we are going to look at how their stats, their base stats, compare to each other when they're all exactly the same. So Wolverine ability 1, adamantium claws. We got 200% piercing, apply bleed on crit. Wolverine is a high damage character, and medium speed, and can heal himself. So I personally like Wolverine. I know some people don't necessarily think he's the greatest of characters, but it is the character that has been one of the easiest to farm just because he's a daily objective guy. Slice and dice, 100% piercing, again apply bleed, chain up to 3 targets for 70%. I don't necessarily use this. I really don't use that ability too often. Sometimes if I need to get a little bit of damage to each of characters next to each other, but for the most part I use ability 1 and ability 3. And ability 3 is his high damage, 430% piercing, and if health is below 50%, offense up for 2 turns. Like I said, on all of these characters, the gear ability material is all the blue. I chose these levels and this tier because this is all the easily farmable blue material. Everything from tier 7 and below is all blue stuff. Everything from all these abilities is all blue gear material. So that's why I picked these, and level 55 I thought it was a pretty good level to stop at. Healing factor on turn, regenerate 10% of character's max health and 5% chance to revive. I'll be honest, as much as I've played this and as many times when Wolverine dies, this has never once happened to me where he has revived. Not one time. He doesn't die a whole lot, you know. I mean, honestly, he doesn't die a whole lot, but he has died, but it's never happened. I mean, so the 5% chance is really low, and he comes in with really low health anyway. So that is Wolverine. We're gonna look at the Hulk now. Hulk is another character that, you know, can be replaced by characters like Captain America, but you know, if you're a launch player, Captain America is kind of hard to get. You know, like I get frustrated sometimes seeing videos where they have Captain America and they talk about how awesome Captain America is and he's such a tank. Well, he's hard to get, man. I mean, if you're a launch player, you know, and he's tough to get. So I like Hulk personally. Smash character is below 50%. All of these, again, he's high damage, but he is so slow. That's definitely his biggest drawback, is that he is just so freaking slow. And below 50% offense up, 220% damage, but he does do amazing damage, especially when he has below 50%. And sometimes purposely, I will use this taunt before Drax, just for the simple fact to get him below 50%, and then I use Drax's taunt after that. That way Hulk can get in some massive damage with his below 50%. Sometimes it's a little risky, but a lot of times it really pays off. Apply taunt 1 turn, clear 2 negative effects, heal himself for 2,000 health, and if it is below 50%, heal for 10% of max health as well. We got Leap, which is a pretty good, almost not an AoE attack, but does damage to all adjacent enemies, which can be up to 3, and so 210% damage, 190% on the adjacent, and again, if below 50%, gets a multiplier. Always Angry, this is the one where it's below 50%, he gets speed up, and dropping below 25% gets 50% chance to death proof. So I like Hulk. I think he is pretty good, pretty decent. Gamora, big damage character, really fast character. So she always typically goes first on my squad anyway. She goes first. But there are characters that are faster than Gamora. So be on the lookout for that. I mean, there aren't too many of them, but there are characters that are faster, or that at least get to go first. Attack primary target, 200%, 210%, 40% chance for a bonus attack. I love this attack. I use this one, again, more than ability 2. I use ability 1 and ability 3 all the time. This 40% extra chance to get that bonus attack is awesome, and I can't wait to do ability 6, upgrade to level 6. You got 2 times, which is amazing. Ruthless Blade, 160% chance and 50% chance to chain. The only time I really use ability 2 is when it's getting ready for the kill. If I guarantee to kill, I will do it, because she gets to go immediately again. And then Flying Slash, her big damage attack. Offense up, which is absolutely amazing, because she needs that offense up. She doesn't have the highest damage, but since she gets that offense up and gets that 270%, it does massive damage, which is cool. Deadly Methods, 5% chance to crit attack and apply 5% chance for Guardians. And so I do have Drax on my team. Yondu does not count as a Guardian, obviously, but still, for all the other Guardians, when we can get them, you know, I can't get Rocket Raccoon, obviously, unless I want to, you know, shell out some power cores, but I'm not going to do that. Yondu now, Jagged Edge. Yondu is amazing, probably my favorite character, most useful character, I think, especially ability 1. I find more usefulness out of ability 1 than anything, which is the clear positive effect. I mean, this helps so much in just about every single battle, especially with the taunts. To get rid of taunts, it is amazing. Ability on level 6, clear 2 positive effects, which is amazing too, because you have some of those characters that have 2 times counterattacks, and if you hit them, you know, it clears 1, but they still have another one, so that really helps. I really like that. Can't wait to do level 6. Boarding party, summon 2 Ravager allies, and although this is useful, sometimes it's really not useful, because by the time that you're able to use this, you got to watch out for the opponent's AoE attacks, and sometimes it's like almost like a waste, you know, it clears out all of your Ravager allies before you even get the chance to use them, because of you know, that AoE attack from the opponent. Sometimes also, you know, when you use it, you really want health, and it gives you the what is it, the boomer, and sometimes when you want the boomer, it gives you health, and so it's, you know, I mean, it helps, but sometimes it doesn't. The Yaka arrow, chain all enemies for 160% undodgeable piercing. Great attack of clearing out any like residual low health type of characters, and also if you're facing a Yondu or any other summon characters, this will wipe everybody out. So I usually save this, especially depending on who I play, but I save this a lot towards the end when I really need to clear out the small enemies, or if a certain enemy has a taunt on and I still only have 1 character in which I gotta just use 1 single hit to get rid of them. I use that a lot. And then the last one, his passive ability, 50% chance to copy a positive effect. This is, again, amazing ability. He copies stealth, he copies offense up, he copies defense up. I mean, just being able to copy positive effects, 50% chance, which is amazing. So half the time, you know, every other turn he's copying effects, and as you get higher levels, your opponents are going to have these positive effects all the time, which is awesome. Let's look at Drax now. Last one, we got Knife Slash, attack primary 190, 30% drain, which is awesome. I love the drain. Even though he is a slow character, and a lot of people would argue that Drax's main usefulness is just his taunt right when you spawn in, which is awesome, but then his fast reflexes, which is defense up and counter and taunt. And so a lot of people would argue that Drax's really only usefulness is just the fact that he has that taunt right when you start in and ability to, but I still find Drax pretty useful. Again, like I said, that drain is really nice, especially when you have some faster characters. Yondu's pretty quick, Gamora's pretty quick, and if you have a character on the other team that's fast that you just need to drain just that little bit of speed bar on that character, you know, you're going to want to use Drax. Hit him once, drain it a little bit, and then Gamora can actually go before the other person. So I find him quite useful. And then fast reflexes, like I said, taunt, counter up, defense up, which is nice. Good fighting, 220% chance, 30% drain, and chain up to 1 to 4 adjacent targets. So you could hit the entire squad, you know, an entire team, and 30% drain on those. Those are awesome. So, and then last one, we got Destroyer. That is the gain taunt on spawn and +5 to drain. So drains the your opponent's speed bar. Good on taunts, good on spawning in, gives you a chance to lay some good damage, and then that ability too is really nice. So that is how all the characters compare, you know, as far as their abilities go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how their base stats actually compare to each other when they're exactly leveled up, all exactly the same, and then we're going to jump into a match or two and kind of see how, you know, I play as them and, you know, what I do with them, because I'm fairly happy with this team. Obviously, I think that other characters could be better, just depending, but I've played these 5 characters since the beginning because they were and have been the absolute easiest for me to get. Alright, so looking at this, all these base stats, like I said, everything is exactly the same. All of their gear is the same level, all of them have the same amount of stuff, same stars, same abilities, same everything. So this is exactly how they all compare when they're all the same level. Power levels are very similar. I mean, there's only about 150 difference between Drax and Wolverine, so nothing big on that, but the health is a big deal. Definitely a big deal, because there are many times when I play higher power teams with good opponents that do damage, where Gamora and Yondu have died fairly quickly. Gamora, most of all, I got to really work to protect her sometimes with Drax and with Hulk, and so I try to not put them next to each other, just so in case they have chain attacks and stuff, when the taunts are on, they don't get hit with secondary attacks. But you see, damage, you know, Gamora's is really low, you know, compared to the rest of them, but when you add that offense up on Gamora, that is why she does so much damage. And look at the armor 168 for Gamora, really low, but you got Drax over 2,000, we got Hulk over 1,800. Focus, that's how well you can apply your whatever it is you're doing to your enemy, how well you can apply those to your enemies, and then resistance is how well you can prevent them being applied to you. Fairly similar to each other, nothing really too big on that. Crit damage, all exactly the same. Crit chance, fairly close to each other. Wolverine is one of the ones that you, obviously he applies bleed when he gets the crit chance, so higher crit chance definitely helps with that. Speed, Hulk, Drax, super slow. Gamora, pretty darn fast. Wolverine is pretty much in the middle, and Yondu is fairly close to being at least fast. Nobody can dodge, nobody can block. I'm not sure why they have a block amount when they can't block anyway, so I don't know what that's about. Accuracy, all 100%, so they're going to hit the opponent. And then you got Yondu at 130%. I don't know how you can be more than 100% accurate, but I guess maybe if that has to do with when you get to higher levels of certain abilities, that it, like, I don't know, cuts your opponent's accuracy in half or something, and maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not really sure. But this is how they all compare. This is how all of their base stats compare when they are exactly the same. And so maybe kind of give you an idea of characters that you want to go for at this level, kind of see how they apply, how useful they are towards yourself and towards your squad. I'm going to work on my next 5. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into some gameplay. We are going to go into Arena right now and kind of see how these guys work together. Hopefully we get some good results. I have been working on Arena, trying to get my squad up there quite a bit. So, you know, we got some people. I tried to pick a team in which they had all characters in which I didn't have. So all of these are characters in which I don't have my top tier, I guess, are my top, you know, characters that I use, except for Gamora. So you know, looking at these, you got, you know, this is a pretty interesting team, you know, with Black Panther and Quake and Gamora, and then you got Captain America on that taunt and stuff. So I personally, out of all of these, I would rather try to get rid of Quake first. So that is going to be what I'm going to hope to do. And if somehow when Captain America taunts, hopefully we can get rid of that taunt with Yondu. But you know, Quake is low enough right now that I think she will easily be able to be taken out. So we're gonna use Drax's taunt right now. Get rid of that. Let's get Black Panther. Now let's work on Gamora because she has offense up right now, so let's get rid of that. They got the taunt on and he copies, and now this is what I mean, you know, you got that ability 3 for Yondu in which you can clear out all of the characters that are really low. And so that's what we're going to do, get rid of Quake, and she's gone. And now we got to get rid of Captain America. I could have used the I guess ability 1 for Captain America, but sometimes that doesn't work on Captain America. He has very high resistance, and so sometimes when you come across Captain America, he either blocks it or prevents his resistance. We're gonna call up our Ravengers. We only get one, unfortunately. That's too bad. We're gonna hit Gamora over there. So Drax still has, or he just ended his taunt. Got rid of Gamora. These characters that they have are pretty soft and squishy, so I'm pretty happy about that. We got Hulk right now, so let's go with, yeah, let's just use the taunt for Hulk, so that way he has still full energy. We got Wolverine, ability 3, massive damage. See how much damage that he does is absolutely amazing, and then Yondu's going to clear him out. We got old Black Widow, old Lonely over there. I think she needs some love, you know, defense up. He picked the taunt again, so... that's okay, though. See if we can get rid of that taunt. Like I said, Captain America has an ability to block it. We did get rid of one of them, which was just the defense up, not the actual taunt. But no problem. Got rid of him, and this actually was not too difficult. Even though they are pretty much the same. They were pretty much the same power level as me. I think this team does fairly well together. In the top 1,000, I've been able to stay within the top 1,000. My power isn't quite high enough to climb more. I think the highest I've gotten is about 800, and then I usually fall down. But you know, right around this power level is pretty much the same. You know, all of these opponents are pretty much the same, and you see pretty close to the same characters: Yondu, Gamora, all of those stuff. But that's why I picked that other squad. But anyway, that is going to be it. I mean, let me know what you think about these particular characters. Let me know if this helped you. I wasn't exactly sure if anybody would necessarily be interested in knowing how everybody compares when they are exactly the same. But being that I do so many raids and stuff, I want to make a team in which... Like it's hard to farm for characters once you get to a high level. And the more you farm for one character, the less you farm for other characters, obviously. And so I want to make, you know, I want to have like 2 or 3 teams that are fairly similar. And so that way, if one of them dies, I can easily replace them in the raid and not skip a beat and not have to worry about using a low level, low power character. So I'm going to work on these next 5. I am probably going to replace Thanos since his shards are no longer available, and probably replace him with Quake. You know, probably replace him with Quake and get some Night Nurse. I did just unlock Night Nurse, so be ready for a video on unlocking her. But that's going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy, hit that thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you want to see another one of these when I get done with leveling them up. And maybe I might do another one once I get all of these characters to 5-star. And I mean, honestly, I'm going to be close to getting Gamora to 6-star because I get so many of her shards. I buy so many of her shards. But anyway, y'all have a good day. I will see y'all in the next video. I am out. Peace.